Welcome to the channel. My name is Mia Viva, and I'm the coach that helps single moms turn their gifts into power, purpose, and profit. So this video and the topic of this video is prompted because I used to see this question all the time. Now, let me give you a little bit of backstory. All of 2021, I was introduced to certain practices and beliefs and tools and a world that utilized certain techniques and beliefs, right, and tools to help with manifestation. I'll say that, okay? So I'm gonna leave it there. And in 2022, my world was shaken, which I now know was God calling me like, hey, okay, it's time to wake up. I let you go long enough. All right, so let's start there. So when I'm speaking about this, I'm not speaking from a place of outside looking in. I'm speaking from a place of just 2 days ago throwing away at least $1,000 worth of paraphernalia. Okay, so I'm not coming on here preaching from a judgmental place, right? This is something that I'm speaking from experience, first-hand, first-level experience, okay? And much of the time, whenever someone who was thought to be a leader within this world would go on live or have a video, there would always be comments, and all of the comments would be surrounded about this one book. And I think that's probably how I even learned about this book, right? And so when I got into all of these practices and things, I didn't, and I want to make this clear, I never went into it intentionally serving or asking of any dark energy. I was not doing any black magic. I wasn't doing, you know what I mean? Like, I was still saying God. I was still asking God. I was still praying. I was still, you know, in my mind, I didn't put any names and pictures and all of that type of thing. I wasn't doing any type of manipulative, spirited, intentional actions, right? Everything that I wanted to manifest, I wanted it to manifest for myself. And so because of that, and what this book provides, I thought it was aligned, right? And so clearly, you know, from the title, it's the Power of the Psalms book. Now, when I initially found out about the book, it was like Power of Psalms. Okay, boom, yeah, let's go. Like, this is in the Bible. I'm still a child of God. Like, I always knew I'm still a child of God, but my practices weren't confirming that. They weren't showing that, right? And so because I was in a very ignorant state for really all of the year, let's keep it real, I saw the book. I said, oh, this is like a playbook. This is literally like a playbook for a chapter in the Bible, right? Somebody has made a playbook for the chapter in the Bible, right? But then every time I would see comments of people say, how do you feel about this book? What do you think about this book? Is this book straight? Is this book legit? And you have to get to a point where you say, why are so many people still questioning this book, right? And what I know now, especially, is that the enemy, I'll say the enemy, okay? Because the enemy for you could be anything, any thought, any principle, okay, person, place, or thing. But the enemy has a way to manipulate and to fool and to trick, right? So yes, I'm going to use a chapter out of the Bible, but what made me throw it away, simple and plain, was I had to, when I picked up the book off of the shelf, the first page was showing, and the first page is an outline of all the other books that this woman has written. And so I sat there because I was debating. Now, mind you, I got a box full of stuff, and I'm gonna keep, and this stuff is not cheap. Anybody who has been in that world, these cards, these candles, that stuff is not cheap, okay? So I got a box full of stuff, unused, barely used, brand new, like, and I'm sitting there and I'm just in disgust because I'm like, I'm really about to throw money in the trash. I'm really about to throw money in the trash, but it was required. It was the sacrifice that was required from me at this point. But anyway, I see this book and I see the first page of the book, and it's listing all of the books that this woman has written. And I sit there and I'm staring at it and I say, I was so blind. I was so blind. And I didn't bring the titles up. But this woman has written books on, matter of fact, let me see, it'll take really quick. The reason why I was certain that this was not of God is because of the books that this woman has produced, and mixing that with my knowledge of how the enemy works, of using something that's true, right? I'll give you a little bit of truth, but I'm about to impose and manipulate it in such a way where you're not really doing what you think you're doing, right? I'm going to masquerade a tool. I'm going to make it strange, pretty much, okay? So a couple of the books she's written is The Golden Secrets of Mystic Oils, Psalm Magic. What else? There's other ones on here. She's got the fortune telling cards. She's got Magic with Incense and Powers. She's got Devotion to the Saints. And it's not showing here, but one particularly stuck out to me, and it said, like, the magic of witchcraft, or witchcraft and the powers and whatever, how to conjure, how to do all of that, right? How to do, was it rituals or something like that? And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this long list of books that she's written. And I said, I can't believe I was so deep into this and didn't realize, nothing sparked in my head, right? And it made sense of why so many people deep down in their spirit are still questioning. It's like, I hear the book, I know the title of the book, but there's something about it that still makes me question. And I was still there too. And my thing is, like, if you want the book of Psalms, then go get a Bible, right? And I have 2 Bibles here, physical, tangible Bibles, as well as a Bible app on my phone. But I felt the need to go get this book so that I could use it within a world that was countering God. So if that doesn't look crazy or insane, like, there's nothing above that to confirm crazy or insane, right? And like, I've had multiple conversations with other women, especially Black women, who you know, are subscribing to this way of life now. And I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody. That's not my place. That's above my pay grade. I don't even have the tools to do that. I know my experience, and that's what I'm speaking from. And so when people say, is that book okay? Is it legit? I'm gonna say no. And I'm gonna tell them why. And I'm gonna tell them my experience, right? So it's to that question that I think will forever be asked of people who deep down inside, because there has to be a reason why you're questioning this, right? And it's okay to question things, that we have free will, we have thought, right? But you have to look at a person's intention when they create something. We're here to be creators, right? And we all get our motivation from different areas, different things, different spirit, okay? And when you, excuse me, when you're creating something from God, that's your intention, that's your source. When you're creating something from something opposite of God, that's your source, that's your intention, right? So like I said, yes, she can use a book out of the Bible, which is the word of God, but I'm gonna use that and then I'm gonna just tweak it a little bit. And it's not necessarily that the book could be intentionally super, super bad, but I'm gonna need you to look at her portfolio. I'm gonna need you to pay attention to what else she has produced in the world. I'm gonna need you to look at what else she is creating, right? Because you're not gonna tell me that you can put the power of the Psalms next to the witchcraft book and she was good this day, and then over here she's trying to do some fugazi situations. It just doesn't match. It just does not match. And you can debate it, you can argue it all day long, but it is what it is, right? So I wanted to make this video because it had to be addressed at some point. And I know if you have it in your cart, if you're looking on YouTube trying to find out is it legit, because I did all of these things, right? Before I hopped into this world, I was doing research beyond research. And that's what happens. You go to a website, you put it in your cart, you read the reviews, then you go on YouTube, check it out. Like, that's just the process, right? So my hope is that somebody comes across this video in their research process and sees this, and this is not to deter anybody on their journey, because I'm gonna tell you this, I had to journey where I went in order to now know what I know, right? And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm not speaking from outside looking in, I'm speaking from having been inside of it. And now I'm like, no, I can make a choice. I have a choice. And I choose God, right? I choose God because I know what the other looks like. I know what the other feels like. I know what the other brings you. I have never been in such physical pain as I was during the time that I was in that world. I was ready to cut off my leg, and that's a whole nother story. I was ready to amputate my leg, no lie. If they would have given me the opportunity to do that, I would have done it, and I would have had one leg. So I know what dibbling and dabbling in that world brings you. But I wanted to address this book specifically. And anything going forward, if you have questions about something and something in your spirit makes you continue to question it, you're not really sure, then I want you to do more research in terms of who's created it, because we're all here to be creators, and you have to look into the intention of the creator. You have to look behind the product. You have to look behind the message. You have to look behind. You have to look at the source of the creation. And that's for anything. Yeah. So this is what I want to share about this book. I've touched on a few areas that I'm speaking of and that I've experienced. And so again, I help single mothers. I have a few ways that you could connect with me if you're interested. I have a 2-hour power call for the single mom entrepreneur who's looking for clarity. Like, I know the power of clarity, and when you don't have it, the power that it has to hold you back and make you feel frustrated. So this is for 2-hour power calls for people, mothers who just need a little bit of help, need an extra brain, need to help flesh out some ideas about content and customers and consistency, habits, all of these things. 2 hours dedicated to you. I have a challenge coming up, Single Mom Gifts to Power, Purpose, and Profit Challenge. I have a 1-month coaching program, which is dedicated to really diving deep in your gifts so that you can see the value in them, so you can see the power in them, so that you can identify them, and to see your blind spots surrounding your gifts so that you can release your gifts in the world, because essentially we all need your gifts. And then I have a 3-month coaching program, which is the Mac Daddy of it all. And you can tell I'm millennials, like, well, Mac Daddy. But it is a 3-month coaching program. It takes you from gifts to profit, honey. You will end up with a whole business, a game plan, vision, purpose, clarity. We flesh out everything. You will launch your first product within your business, your first offering within your business before we end the program, so that we can look at it and go in and tweak and see what's working and see what needs to be added. I mean, it's a whole shebang. All right. And I'm really excited about that one. So if you're interested in any of these, there will be links below. And the first step for all one-on-one coaching is definitely a one-on-one call, because I want to be clear on what you need. I want to be clear on your vision and what you're looking for a coach to help you to do, to make sure that I can serve you. But back to the book. All right. This is just something for you to think about. This is something for you to think about, especially for younger women. This is I'm doing my work. I'm putting in my work to get my word out there about things that I know for certain firsthand. Okay. So if you would like to connect with me, the ways are below. I wish you a beautiful day, night, morning, whatever time you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.